I'm here with Luke Sparke, the director of Bring Him to Me. Thanks for joining me. And I guess how did this project come to you? I guess we'll start with that.
Yeah, well, it's great to be here. Thank you. Yeah, this project came to me from the writer, Tom Evans, who I've been working with for a little bit. He's an English writer over in London. And long story of how I got to here, but basically, I was talking to him one day and he said he was working on a crime movie. I said, send me the script. And I enjoyed it enough. And when I did the deal with him, within 2 weeks, we had the film greenlit and into pre-production. So it was like just happened, right place, right time.
I was talking with Barry Pepper a bit about just kind of like the focus on kind of genre movies like this. What's kind of your take on it? Because like I think like some movies like this, they try to add too much to the pot. Like eventually, Anthony Bourdain was talking about making a hamburger. You know, you can add this and that, but is it making it better? What's kind of your thoughts on just kind of the focus that you have here and bring them to me?
Yeah, well, the script was very focused, and that's what I liked about it. I wouldn't say it was simple, but in a way, it kind of, it is. So I enjoyed that straight away. Obviously, at the ending, you kind of think it might go John Wick or, Barry goes in and takes out a bunch of guys, but that kind of wasn't the essence of the story. And there were suggestions made to us on that, but I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to suddenly then make it a different movie. So I liked it to stay with the crime noir thing where we could have this like sort of dripping neon sort of look throughout the film. And yeah, so I agree.
And you have a couple of writing credits as well, a lot of writing credits. What's kind of your process as far as when you sit down to write a script?
Well, I didn't write this script, but this was through Tom in England. But when I usually write a script, I like to really sort of think about the story, think about the ending, and work my way to that ending. I gave Tom a lot of notes on this one, and in the script it was a bit different, and it wasn't until I got to the edit where I changed some of the structure of the story around, which I think everyone's told me is for the better. No spoilers, but it had to do with sort of like the backstory and the sort of twist of the movie. I moved that to the end. It was much further on in the film, so yeah, I got to sort of do the final draft in the edit. That's why I love editing. It's like the final draft of the script.
Yeah. What was the writing process like with, well, you said Tom wrote it, but like you had like some notes or rewrites or like what's that kind of, how does that work? Do you just kind of say, hey, could we change this? And then Tom goes back and does a
Yeah,
rewrite or,
yeah. I've worked with Tom on another script called Creature Feature that's coming out this year, actually. So I already worked with him on that one. So I like to test writers because some writers are very precious about their script, which fair enough, so am I when I write my scripts. But when it comes time to practically making movies or doing it for real, you have to sort of go with what the production and the director wants. So Tom's great at just agreeing and trusting my instincts. So for this one, there was notes on the Sam Neill character. It was quite he in the first scene again, no spoilers, but he wasn't in it as long as he was in the movie, and I sort of identified that character quite quickly as an actor that could probably come in and do a good job. So I expanded that character out. That's the process for my notes on this movie.
and it also says here you did production design. Oh, well, along with editing and directing, you've also did production design here. I don't know that I've heard of a director doing production design before. What does that entail, and how do you juggle that along with all the
Yeah.
other jobs you have
Well,
to do?
yeah. Well, my background, I started in the film industry as costume and art before I became a director. So I've basically always been in the industry over here. So I can lean on that experience if I have to. Like it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite thing to do is to have too many titles. But on this one, there was just a lot of other work in Australia. We have a very small industry with a very small amount of crew. And I'm also very particular on who I hire because I have experience. I've hired some people in the past where they talk a big game and then you get on set and you have to like take over anyway. So I just said to the guys, look, it's set in the car mainly. We're on location a lot. We're not building huge sets and a big art department team. I said I'll take it on and run that team. So I had to get there early every day before I was directing to set the scenes and the style and the color palette and all that kind of stuff before we even started. But it was hard, but it all worked out.
What is kind of some of the job of production designer? Because like I'm like sort of familiar. Like you see like a big like set piece movies with like a bunch of stuff in the background. Like that's kind of all I know about it, but and, like you've done it and you're more of an expert than I
Yeah.
am. Like what, like speaking to a layperson like me, how would you sort of describe what that job is?
Well, the designs, a production designer usually works with the director and the DP to design the world of the DP director will say about the color, and then they obviously work that into the sets. And then they, design the sets as in like, architecturally design if they're big sets to build, concept art, like they'll do all that. And then the construction crew and that will step in and build from their design, and then the props will look at their design and go from there. So it runs the entire visual look of the film. Everything you see is really what the production designer has to do.
Yeah. And like what are some details that you put in that just kind of help because I know like a lot of different creative parts of well any creative endeavor but especially movies like a costume designer they're going to have a person wear this because it fits a theme or fits that character production design maybe you throw in some detail that I wouldn't recognize that kind of does the same thing it's not just it's not just a lamp in the background that lamp means something to this but it might not be something that someone would pick up on right away where are some details like that that you kind of put in that might not be apparent on first viewing.
Yeah, I think it was just more working with Barry and having a few little things that you wouldn't notice in the car. He had a backstory about his father, and that so in the car there's little trinkets and things that's not barely touched on, but he wanted to make that really his own environment in there. So that's probably the most I did. And like I said, because we were shooting it really quickly in 16 days, there wasn't anything built, so it was more just driving around, location scouting, and finding places that we could come on in. I guess the gas station was also a bit of a challenge because we had to make it look American, feel American, and it was an Australian gas station. Uh, so yeah, little things like that.
Yeah. And also you had Jamie Costa in this, which I love Jamie Costa. I was a big fan of like watching his Han Solo short and like he's
Yeah,
great. Uh
yeah,
what
yeah. That's how we
what
connected.
oh nice. Well, I guess go ahead and tell that story because I don't think a lot of people know who Jamie Costa is, but he really is fantastic.
No, he's definitely on the rise, and I'm a huge Star Wars fan. And we connected over talking about his shorts, Solo and Obi-Wan, and his Robin Williams little short he did where he played Robin Williams.
Yes.
And I thought that was really really great acting. So I just I reach out to people. I don't really wait for agents or people to tell me what to do. So I just reached out and just said, hey, can we just have a chat? You like Star Wars, you like Jurassic Park, and we just were talking about our favorite movies. And so when I talk to actors who I like, I keep in the back of my head. And when the script came along, it was written more as a sort of Jesse Pinkman character in the script, like, yo, 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 Mr. White. And it was all kind of like a bit of a dick already. And I didn't want to do that because it's been done. So I sort of cast Jamie as almost like a nice criminal. He's sort of like a father, as a father, and he's just a normal guy, just falling in with the wrong crowd. So I thought that would be good for how the film ends. So that's why I sort of cast him. He was actually against it. He thought it was going to be not great casting, but I think everyone agrees that he did a good job.
I would certainly co-sign that. We do have a What's in the Box segment, and every week we pull a movie out of the box. It's movie, and we have people put movies in the box every week. We'll pull one out and watch it for the following week. These are movies that you think is should be watched more. Like a movie that's like that's really good, and literally no one talks about it. What's a movie that you would like to put into the box?
I recently saw a film that I think should be more seen, which is Palm Springs.
Oh, is that the like a Groundhog Day sort of thing?
Yeah,
Like that?
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
I don't think I mean that's not a physical movie, right? That's on Hulu, I think. Anyway, yeah. Little movies like that is stuff I really enjoy.
Yeah, they had a bit there where they were making a lot of them, and they they all turn out pretty good. So yeah,
Yeah,
more of them. I mean, if you're gonna keep making them great, then I'm all for it. But Bring
yeah.
'Em to Me is in theaters and on demand Friday, February 23rd, and I hope everyone goes to see it. You made a really awesome thriller, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. So congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.